All right, for the sake of time, all right, we're just going to do the Lord's Prayer, the Shemais, a general blessing of the Passover. All right, and at the closing of the prayers, we'll do some more. All right. All right, so Israel, repeat the Hebrew only. Blessed are you, Yahweh, that give to us the law. Barakatah Yahweh, Hahawa'ah, Nathanawa, Atawara. Blessed are you, Yahweh, that give to us the light to see. Barakatah Yahweh, Hahawa'ah, Nathanawa, Ha'awar, Lara'ah. Blessed are you, Yahweh, that give to us the ram's horn to call the people. Barakatah Yahweh, Hahawa'ah, Nathanawa, Hakwaran, Washawapah, Wakwara, Ha'ain, Bahashem, Hamashiach, Yahawashah, the water, the yard, I will Amen. Hallelujah. 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 Lord's Prayer, Matthew 6, 9 through 13. Abanawa, Shema Shemayim, Kodash, Hayah, Shemka, Yahweh, Malakwavka, Taba'ah, Aratazaka, Hayah, Aisha, Baratazah, Kawa, Hashemayim, Nitalanawa, Lacham, Ko, Yawam, Wasalaknawa, Kabawafinawa, Kasalaknawa, Kabawafinawa, Wala'a, Tabiyainawa, Wanasayawan, Abo, Hawashainawa, Man, Rai, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwaf, Wa'ala, Watapara'af, Laiwalam Yung, Amen. Hallelujah. 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 Our Father Yahweh which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. By Hashem Mashiach Yahushua, the water of man. Hallelujah. 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 Shema Yasharallah Yahweh Alahayanawa Yahweh Aha Shema Yasharallah Yahweh Alahayanawa Yahweh Aha Shema Yasharallah Yahweh Hear, O Israel, Yahweh power, Yahweh is 1 Deuteronomy 6, verse 4. Hallelujah. 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 Blessing of the Passover, Yahweh. Yahweh. Bashem. Bashem. Hamashiach. Mashiach. Yahushua. Yahushua. Bobukusha. Shema. Shema. Nawa. Nawa. Aita. Aita. Shalak. Shalak. Maikala. Maikala. Balahayim. Ayahayim. La. La. Shema Ayo. Shema Ayo. Barak. Barak. Rapah. Izar, Magun, Kazak, Hatazayah, Kwawa, Yashala, Wa, Shalak, Hamalakwaf, La Yashala, Bobukusha, Bahashem, Hamashiach, Yahushua, the water, the yard, I will Amen. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Yahweh. Yahweh. Hashem. Hashem. Hamashiach. Hamashiach. Yahushua. Bobukusha. Barak. Barak. Nawa. Nawa. Pasak. Pasak. Wa. Nawa. Nawa. Shabaf. Wa. Nawa. Nawa. Rum. Yawam. Bobukusha. Barak. Ko. Kagyum. Mayasha'ala. Bobukusha. Bahashem. Hamashiach. Yahushua. The water, the yard, I will Amen. Blessed O Most High Yahweh, B'Hashem Mashiach Yahushua, please bless the nation of Israel, heal us, watch over us, gather us, Shalak HaMalak, send the kingdom to the nation of Israel. Bless you, the Most High Yahweh. Bless Israel throughout the four corners of the earth. Bless our Passover, our Sabbath, our exalted day, and all the feast days called Kagyam, Maya Sha'ala, all the feast days of the nation of Israel. So be it. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Hashem.
Hamashiach.
Yahawashah. The water. Yad. Awalam. Amen. Hallelujah.
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 Good. Hallelujah. Yeshabah. Be seated. All right. So, shalom.
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 All right. Kwam Yashala.
Go Yashala.
All right. So, shalom, Israel. Happy Passover. Second month, or what we call makeup Passover, second month. All right. Once, when you miss the Passover in the first month, the Most High allowed us to make it up in the second month for those that were not able to keep it in the first month. So we weren't able to gather in any large gatherings throughout the country. Most states, we couldn't gather in large gatherings because of the COVID-19 plague, pestilence, prophecy, whatever you want to call it. So Georgia, being one of the states that, quote unquote, somewhat open back up, you're able to have gatherings here. So brothers decided to put the Passover together for the second month for the state of Georgia, so we can kind of make it up for those that weren't able to gather, or just, even if you kept it, you still wanted to gather with your brothers and sisters. Kind? All right, so tonight we're going to be reading Exodus, the 12th chapter, and Numbers, the 9th chapter. All right, for the sake of time, we're going to breeze through them, explain them, maybe get a precept here and there for the sake of time, so, we can get into the eating of the Passover and the festivities and things of that nature. Okay? All right, so we're going to start. We're going to do a rotation, a 7-man rotation. We're going to start with Exodus, the 12th chapter. Let's go to Exodus chapter 12 and verse 1. All right, Khan? All right. But before we get that, let's go to 2nd Ezra, the 15th chapter. Go to 2nd Ezra, the 15th chapter, and start at verse 1. All right, 2nd Ezra, chapter 15, and verse 1. All right. 2nd Ezra 15 and 1. When everybody have it, say Khan. All right, 2nd Ezra 15 and 1. Everyone should be reading along, taking notes. All right, there's going to be something here, right? Even if you're a swordsman of Yasha'Allah, there's going to be something here tonight that you're going to learn that you didn't know before. Okay? So everybody should be taking notes, whether you're on your phone, notepad, whatever. If you don't have a notepad, a Bible Apocrypha, take notes in your phone. You have a notepad in your phone. Okay? You should be here. This is a learning mechanism. So, like I said, I don't care how much you think you know, there's going to be something here tonight that you can learn. Okay? So everybody take this serious and take notes and, go back and study it over when you have time tomorrow or another day. All right, 2nd Ezra 15 and 1. Who's reading? All right, Khan. Dawad is going to read.
This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 15, verse 1. Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy.
Right, so we've been prophesying this word. All right, some of us more than others. We got elders that go back before us. We got new brothers coming up. We were here before them. But we were prophesying this word for many years, and now what's happening? All right, you see the Most High is bringing a prophecy to pass. Okay? Right, you see, they opened back up Georgia, but it's still dead. Besides a few Negroes that want to party and be simple, but when you check it out, for the most part, most states throughout the country, the streets are dead. And that's prophesied in Ezra and Isaiah all throughout the Bible. The Most High said he's going to make the sown places suddenly appear unsown. All right, a month ago, 2 months ago, it was thousands of people walking up and down. Now it's ghost towns. So we are living in real-time prophecy. Okay? So sometime in these last days, when the Most High is bringing judgment and stuff on this society, it's going to inconvenience things that we do. So like we said, you rather have a prophecy or the glamorous April Passover. But now the Most High gave us mercy and he let us do it now. All right, so we get both. God, double up on them. All right, but in the process of the Most High bringing judgment on this society, it is going to inconvenience certain things. You just got to get out the way and let the Most High do his thing. God? All right, so read on.
Which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord.
And this is not our words, this is the Most High. We're speaking his word. What we read and study in these scriptures is coming to pass. Good.
Verse 2. And cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true.
Good.
Fear not the imaginations against thee. Let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee. For all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness.
Right, all the people that didn't have faith, they see it now. And a lot of them are going to die in their unfaithfulness. Good.
Behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction.
Right, the Most High said he's going to bring plagues on the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. And that's what we're seeing. All right, and when this thing, when the smoke clear, you're going to be reading all the articles, all the different, that's when you're going to find out a lot of stuff that was going on. A lot of people are not out and about now, so you hear the news and different reports, but when this thing clear up, you're going to see a lot of damage, that you're going to see the aftermath of the damage that the Most High did. Yeah, like Katrina, right? People are going to be coming out their house bugged out. You're going to be seeing people that lost their mind. Yeah. You ain't seen nothing yet. Wait till this thing start, people start flowing back a little bit. You're going to be like, damn, what happened to you, brother? That quarantine, man, I don't know. Right, I'm not the same no more, brother. Right, you're going to see the after effects, man, of this thing. So thank the Most High, he kept you sane. You gotta look at that. A lot of people are going to lose their mind in this judgment, man. He kept you sane throughout all this. All right, read on.
For wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth.
And that's why the Most High is judging this place, because there's wickedness everywhere. First thing Jake and Eve do, they get out and they start twerking. They throw a stripper party. That's what you see on Instagram, on the internet. 500 people in a mansion at a strip party. Yeah, that's what you see. The first thing Jake do is something wicked, man. As soon as he gets some freedom, he needs to be saying, where them camps at? Where them brothers at? Let me find them brothers, man. I can go outside now. Let me find them brothers. They still out there. Nah, Jake want to do something wicked, man. Still want to kill each other. Right? Not learning from what the Most High did. And going to continue to do. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Also, if you see the Purge, the last Purge movie, they do that Purge party. This is Jake. Esau knows Jake.
Right.
Jake is an open book. You can read them. The scriptures tell you how we are, and that's just the way we are.
Exactly. God, read on.
For wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. Therefore saith the Lord, I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness, which they profanely commit.
Good.
Neither will I suffer them in those things which in which they wickedly exercise themselves.
Right, the Most High had enough, in other words. Good.
Behold, the innocent and righteous blood crieth unto me, and the souls of the just complain continually.
Good.
And therefore, saith the Lord, I will surely avenge them, and receive unto me all the innocent blood from amongst them. Behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt.
Right, and that land of Egypt is America. Modern day Egypt, America. All right, because we had already got delivered out of ancient Egypt. All right, we went into our homeland. Now the modern day Egypt that Ezra was prophesying about is America. He's not going to suffer us to dwell here anymore. All right, go ahead.
But I will bring them with a mighty hand and an outstretched arm, and smite Egypt with plagues.
And what?
And smite Egypt
the
with
Lord
plagues.
said he's going to smite modern day Egypt, America, with plagues. Go ahead.
And will destroy all the land thereof.
He said, I'm going to smite Egypt with plagues as before. All right, so we got the plague of the corona. You don't know. Maybe the Most High going to bring 20 plagues on this society. He brought 10 on ancient Egypt. He's going to double up on America and bring 20 plagues. God? So you see it. The Most High said, listen, I'm going to plague this place like I did with ancient Egypt. And ancient Egypt, you had the cattle disease. All right, when you read Exodus, the 9th chapter, the Most High brought a grievous murrain, all right, on their cattle. He brought sores and boils upon them. So what is he doing now? This COVID-19, corona, this mystery virus killing people. All right, and other things killing people. People are it's a plague of death out here now. Because people are dying not from corona. People just dropping dead. Heart attacks, sick from this. No, he just stopped breathing. So it's just a general plague of death out here that the Most High is bringing also. So we live in real-time prophecy. Okay? All right, so go from there to Exodus chapter 12 and verse 1. Exodus 12 and verse 1. We're going to get right through this and then jump to Numbers, the 9th chapter. Exodus chapter 12 and verse 1. So prophecy is taking place, Israel. Take heed to what the Most High is showing us. And don't think just because you're in the truth. When you see these things happening, you got to tighten up. Okay? Yo, I got to get to camp more. Yo, I got to study more. I got to do more videos. I got to link with brothers more. Okay? You got to get more serious with this truth. Stop taking this truth for granted. All right? Get into this word. Stop looking at the entertainment factor of being in this truth. Do some self-examination. All right? Because when you check it out, you know, just because Paul said, let he that thinketh he stand take heed lest he fall. Don't think because you got fringes on and you say, Kwam Yasha'Allah. Now you got to constantly take stock of yourself. All right, yeah, you know, I got I'm in the truth heart. Yeah, Shalom, Kwam Yasha'Allah. Now always examine yourself, making sure you're on point. Keep under yourself, like the scriptures say. All right? That's the only way, man, because we got to endure to the end. No man is saved until Yahweh shall come and you get caught up on them chariots. And even then, we got to deal with the wilderness. Okay? Might end up like Moses and don't see the promised land. So it's a constant, you know, you constantly got to stay on yourself. It's a constant battle. When you see COVID-19, prophecy, judgment happen, yo, I got to get it together more. Let me tighten up. You know what I'm saying? Let me get my spirit right, more right, because most are bringing judgment. All right, so let's be mindful of that. God? All right, so God. Exodus chapter 12, verse 1. So we have each brother will take maybe about 5 to 10 verses. All right, each brother will take about 5 to 10 verses. No, about 10 to 12 verses. Read them, break it down, explain it to the best of your ability, and go from there. So I'll start with me. Let's go to Exodus 12 and 1. I'll do the first 12 verses. All right. Exodus chapter 12 and verse 1. Here's where the Passover was instituted when we were delivered out of Egypt. Okay? Exodus chapter 12 verse 1. Read that, brother.
And this is the book of Exodus chapter 12 verse 1. And the Lord spake unto Moses and Aaron in the land of Egypt, saying, this month shall be unto you the beginning of months. It shall be the first month of the year to you.
Right, so in the springtime, around maybe mid to late March, early April, mid-April, is when our new year comes in. That new moon that comes around that spring or vernal equinox, that brings in our new year. All right, which is the first month of the year. Go ahead.
Speak ye unto all the congregation of Israel, saying, in the 10th day of this month, they shall take them every man a lamb according to the house of their fathers, and a lamb or an house.
Go ahead.
And if the household be too little for the lamb, let him and his neighbor next unto his house take it, according to the number of the souls, every man according to his eating, shall make your lamb count, shall make your count for the lamb.
Right, so the first Passover was in our homes. All right, so we went full circle this year. Because what? Because of this so-called COVID-19, I would say about 80% of Israel kept the Passover in their homes. Even other congregations. Even some of the congregations that's 10, 20 times larger than us. Most of Israel, from what I saw, because you know Israel, you know we're going to still shine. Right? You know we're going to make it look fly, even if it's in a one-bedroom. You know what I'm saying? So I seen all the pictures and Cats was still fully girded, sitting on their couch. You know what I'm saying? Sitting in their grandpa chair, still fully girded. You know, Israel's still going to go out. I see some people made their house look like a banquet hall. Okay? But what's the beauty in that? We went full circle with prophecy. Okay? I've never, in the history of me being in the truth, I've never had a year where we couldn't get together for the Passover. So we dealing with ancient stuff that's coming back now. We dealing with stuff that's ancient from the ancient times, with the first actual Passover was kept in our homes in Egypt. Now tell me the Most High is not showing us that we're in spiritual Egypt now. Tell me that's not the Most High showing us that we back in spiritual Egypt. Even though there's Israelites that live in other parts of the world, but guess what? This whole system is an Egyptian system. Because they had to stay home too. Right? And when you check it out, who's ruling the world? The Illuminati. And they got the all-seeing eye, the pyramid, they got a lot of the ancient Egyptian symbolism and customs, and that's worldwide. So this whole is America, but it's really this whole system is like an Egyptian system. So what? Most brothers and sisters, even in other countries, they had to keep it home also. All right, so we went full circle. That's you got to take heed to what's really going on. When you really sit back and examine it, you're like, wow, this is a great time. All right, so that's showing us we back in modern Egypt. Most High brought it full circle. Now, 26 years in the truth, I never knew a year where we had to stay home. Unless brothers did, brothers didn't have the money to get a place or something like that, but not to where prophecy shut everything down. That's never happened on the Passover. We was always able to get a rental hall, or if the congregation was small, we had it at somebody's house. You know, when I was in back in the old school in 1 West, we rented out big grand bed. We had 1,000 people in the Passover. All right, so, but I've never, my 26 years in the truth, it never been to where it was totally shut down, where nobody could really gather nowhere for the Passover. So you tell me we're not living in some serious times? All praises to Yahweh and Yahweh Shai. Okay? All right, read on.
Verse 5. Your lamb shall be without blemish, a male of the first year.
So your lamb should be without blemish, a male of the first year. Go ahead.
Ye shall take it out from the sheep or from the goat.
Right, you can also use goat. You can have lamb or goat meat. All right, go ahead.
Verse 6. And ye shall keep it until the 14th day of the same month. And the whole assembly of the congregation of Israel shall kill it in the evening.
Right, you should kill it in the evening, slay the lamb. Go ahead.
Verse 7. And they shall take up the blood and strike it on the two side posts and on the upper doorposts of the houses, wherein they shall eat it.
Go ahead.
And they shall eat the flesh in that night, roast with fire and unleavened bread, and with bitter herbs they shall eat it. Eat not of it raw, nor sodden at all with water.
Right, so it said don't eat the lamb raw, nor sodden, boiled, or stewed with water. Go ahead. No lamb stew, no lamb soup. Right, go ahead.
But roast with fire.
But what?
Roast with fire.
Roast with fire, like what they would call a rotisserie. All right, or on a grill. The closest thing to that is a grill. Okay? All right, go ahead.
His head with his legs and with the pertinence thereof.
Right, you were supposed to roast the whole body of the lamb. His head, his legs with the pertinence or pertinent parts of the lamb. Go ahead.
And ye shall let nothing of it remain until the morning.
Go ahead.
And that which remaineth of it until the morning, ye shall burn with fire.
Right, so you were supposed to consume that whole lamb that night, or you burn it with fire. So that's why the third and fourth verse, it said, get it according to your household. And if your lamb was too big for your household, then you shared it with your neighbor to ensure that that whole lamb got eaten up. And if the lamb didn't get eaten up, you still had some left over, you burnt it with fire. All right, go ahead.
Verse 11. And thus ye shall eat it, with your loins girded. The
Lord said, thus shall you eat it with your loins girded. This is for the men. Okay? So, brothers, listen. All right, as much time as we have here in this captivity, hopefully it's not too long. But every brother, for the future, when the Passover comes, according to the law, you're supposed to really have a full garment. Okay? With a girdle. That's what the scripture is saying right here. Now, we know, okay, we do shirts, fringes, whatever. As long as you got your fringes on, you good money. But when you want to go technical with the law, you're supposed to be girded. God? That's the law. We read it right here. All right, come on.
Your shoes on your feet.
Your shoes on your feet. Your boots, your whatever, hit the Army, Navy store, whatever. Your shoes on your feet. All right, you're not really supposed to be having sneakers or sandals or whatever the case may be. You're really supposed to have like your shoes or mainly boots because it was a time of warfare. The Passover is about warfare. When you read down, it's going to say that we went out of Egypt by our armies. Okay? So we was at a state of war with the Egyptians. Right? Armies and camps. So for the future, you brothers understand this is for the men. You're supposed to have your loins girded, your shoes on your feet. Come on.
And your staff in your hand.
And your staff in your hand. You're supposed to have your staff. All right, come on.
And ye shall eat it in haste. It is the Lord's Passover.
You're supposed to eat it in haste is the Lord's Passover. That was that time when we were coming out of Egypt. All right, go ahead.
For I will pass through the land of Egypt this night, and I will smite all the firstborn.
What verse you in? 12. Okay, Con, 12. Go ahead.
And I will smite all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, both man and beast. And against all the gods of Egypt, I will execute judgment.
Right, and when you go to the book of Psalms, it tells you there was not a household of the Egyptians where there was one dead. That's the judgment of the Most High. But that was the final and 10th plague. It was the killing of the firstborn. Right, because what? When you check it out, every plague that came on the Egyptians was a mockery of their gods. All right, so what was the Most High doing? He was mocking their gods and goddesses. When he brought the frogs on them, that was the goddess Het. All right, that he was mocking. Every god or goddess the Most High was mocking with a plague. All right, so when you check it out, these plagues came on the Egyptians for the Most High to show his power. And the same thing is going to happen to America. All right, the Most High is showing America, I'm going to plague you to show you my power, to show you what I'm capable of, to show you I can shut your whole world down. All right, you think you're God on the earth, but I'm the true and living power in heaven. I can shut your whole kingdom down. Right? That's gangster. You think you're doing it, but I'm really the one doing it. I'm putting it in your hands to do my will. God? Bring it out.
And before the COVID-19, wasn't Trump saying he was God?
Huh?
That statement came out of his mouth. He was the Holy One of Israel. Right. There you go, stimulus checks.
Right, he said his campaign slogan was "Make America Great Again." MAGA, no, "Make America Desolate Again." You know what I'm saying? I'm walking down the street today. Starbucks closed, this closed, that closed. I said, "Damn, the Edomites can't get their latte." Right? You know they finished now. They cappuccino. I said, I thought Georgia opened back up. No, shut down, man. You know what I'm saying? Stores closing at 4 o'clock. If they are open, closing at 4. Right? Jake like a zombie down at 5 points. I took a walk down to 5 points. He's still a zombie out there. He's a zombie when it's normal. Jake is just a zombie, man, out there. Right now, right? Yeah, his element, man. Right? Some looked like some feds was roaming around. I seen some law enforcement car. I don't know what kind of damn law enforcement agency that was. It was some weird SUV with some lights, and Jake got out with a bulletproof vest and big gun on the side. I said, who this nigga work for? You know what I'm saying? The purge police. Right? Yeah, Jake got out with some big guns. I don't even know the caliber of that damn gun. He put some big military bulletproof vest on, and it was a black SUV with tinted windows, and it had some weird lights. I was like, that's not regular police. What the hell is that? Right? You know what I'm saying? So we live in some serious times. And while the streets are empty, you don't know what the hell they're doing. You don't know what they out here doing. All kinds of, I see the same thing in California. I seen like these weird looking law enforcement vehicles. Like, what the hell is that? That ain't even no FBI or nothing. It's just weird. All right, me and my wife was driving on, I think we was on a 91 in Cali, and we seen like 30, these had regular police with them. We had seen about 30 cars riding in a caravan, but some of the cars, it don't look like no type of regular law enforcement car. Like, what the hell are they doing out here while everybody's in the house? What are they setting up? They had regular police with them, but it was a motorcade. It was about 30 cars, but like 10 of the cars, I was like, what the hell is that? had all kinds of antennas and wires and had all kind of, you know what I'm saying, like a damn robot car. Right? You know what I'm saying? They're going to transform into RoboCop and start running down the highway. You know what I'm saying? So we don't know what's about to come now. That's why the scriptures say, no weapon that's formed against you shall prosper. Because they got stuff out here that we can't even imagine. You know what I'm saying? Jake damn near looked like some kind of cyborg down there at 5 Points today. I was like, that's not no kind of regular enforcement. Where they get this Negro from? Universal Soldier, you know what I'm saying? Jake might have really been a damn android. So you don't know what they plotting and planning and doing, and you know, while you in the house, and you know, 70, 80% of the people are in the house, so you don't know what the hell they plotting. So when you do come back out, they got something for you. Okay? You know, every other state, they saw military vehicles, and every other state, Humvees coming in. Right? So we living in serious prophecy, Israel. So it's a blessing that we able to be here tonight. Okay? It could have been worse, man. The Most High, he had a little mercy. This thing could have been worse, man. You could have not been able to go out at all. They said go out for essentials, get a walk, exercise. If you got to get food, you can cash your check, you cash your stimulus check, you know. But imagine if they totally shut it down. No food, no nothing. All right, if you ain't stocked up in your house, got your own land, your own resources, you done. You finished. All right, famine's starting to come in. People coming out their houses to look for food. All right, so it could have been on that level, but the Most High said, I'm going to have a little mercy, and I'm going to turn it right back up again. All right, read on.
Verse 13. And the blood shall be to you for a token upon the houses where ye are. And when I see the blood, I will pass over you, and the plague shall not be upon you to destroy you, when I smite the land of Egypt. Right,
so the Most High said, remember in 1 Samuel 15, he said to obey is better than the sacrifice. So when we put the blood on our door, that was obeying the Most High, that what? The death angel would pass over and not kill one of the firstborn in an Israelite home. All right, to obey is better than the sacrifice. But what we did is we obeyed through the Passover sacrifice, because you had to slay the lamb. That was your Passover sacrifice. And through that sacrifice, you obeyed the Most High by putting the blood on your door. All right, so we obeyed both. We obeyed the Most High and what he actually told us to do, and we sacrificed the lamb for the Passover. All right, go ahead.
Verse 14. And this day shall be unto you for a memorial, and ye shall keep it a feast to the Lord throughout your generations. And ye shall keep it a feast by an ordinance forever.
Right, you shall keep it a feast by an ordinance for how long?
Forever.
Forever. God? Forever, ever. All right, so I'm going to stop right there, and we're going to go from right to left. Let Brother Vito take over at 15. And you can continue to read for him, and you can expound on it, Brother Vito, and back him up if you don't need anything. All right, so Vito, you're going to do 15 till about say 21. Good.
You want me to read?
No, he's going to read, and you're going to break down.
All
right. Well, Shao Paul going to help. All right.
Verse 15.
For the breakdown.
7 days ye shall eat unleavened bread. Even the first day ye shall put away leaven out of your houses. For whosoever eateth leavened bread from the first day unto the 7th day, that soul shall be cut off from Israel.
So the 7 days we got to get the unleavened out the house, so we can keep the ordinance. We gotta follow the Most High. And what does it say? First day you should put the leaven out the house. Whosoever eateth the leaven from the first day until the 7th, that soul shall be cut off from Israel. So you wanna abide by what he's saying. He wants you to get that leaven out, or you will be cut off from Israel. Read on. Come.
And also he wants you to eat unleavened bread for 7 days. So throughout the 7 days you practicing this, you're supposed to eat unleavened bread all 7 days. Even if it's just one piece, make sure you eat that unleavened bread all 7 days. God?
Verse 16. And in the first day there should be an holy convocation. And in the 7th day there should be an holy convocation to you. No manner of work shall be done in them, save that which every man must eat, that only may be done of you.
Con. So the holy convocation, I'm thinking that's an agreement. You know, I'm still a babe, so I teach what I know. You know, what's that? The holy convocation.
Help him out.
A holy convocation is when you get together as a congregation or a family and celebrate the Most High. It is a Sabbath, so there's no buying and selling unless it's for this feast. Unless it's for the feast, you can buy. You can buy. And a holy convocation is also regarded as a Sabbath, so that means there is no working, right? You cannot work, or should I say, work for hire, right? That includes in a holy convocation. It's basically like a Sabbath day, right? You can read on that.
Con. No manner of work shall be done in them.
You see that it says no manner of work, all right? So if you can get off, we all know it's captivity. Whoever's still working, it's hard for you to get off because you're working an essential job, they say. But, you know, that's when H.O.I shows his grace. You know, and but if you can't get off on these days, whatever it says a holy convocation, you try to get off on those days. Yeah?
Con. Save that which every man must eat, that only may be done of you. Verse 17.
Read on.
And ye shall observe the feast of unleavened bread.
This is what this is. This is the feast of unleavened bread. Like it said in the other verses before this, you feast on the unleavened bread for 7 days straight. Right? First day, holy convocation. Last day, holy convocation. Right? And you feast on the unleavened bread all 7 days. And those are instructions from Yahweh. Okay?
For in this selfsame day have I brought your armies out of the land of Egypt.
Your what?
Your armies out of the land of Egypt.
So like the elder was bringing out, it's wartime. Right now it's not a physical war, but it's a mental and spiritual war being plagued upon you. What do you think the quarantine going to do? It's like a person in jail. They said, throw him in the box. They're trying to see how strong you are mentally. Or you're going to watch YouTube until your head busts. Or you're going to watch people twerking on Instagram until you develop a lust demon. Or you're going to watch nothing but Wendy Williams look sad on TV. Because all these reality show stars, all these talk show hosts, all they look is depressed. All they look is depressed. They ain't got their makeup artists. They ain't got their fluffers. They over there in the house looking all sad and depressed. Like, oh, I can't wait till this is over. Listen, you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, y'all got to realize it wasn't so good for you before the quarantine. You were still getting abused by racist police. You were still the first fired and last hired. You still had your children run around in street gangs. You still had your young women ended up missing and victims of sex trafficking. It's still getting shut down for jogging, right? So your life wasn't too good before the quarantine. So if you want to run to it, you're going to run back to the nail salon so they can throw lye on you and hit you with sticks. You're going to run back to listening to these rap videos and rap music where they talk about sleeping with your woman and taking all your money. Life wasn't so good before the quarantine. But y'all want to get back to that, right? Now I say y'all should start a new life. Right? A life following the laws of Yahweh by Hashem and by Shach Yahushua.
That's right.
Come.
Right? Go ahead.
Therefore shall ye observe this day in your generations by an ordinance forever.
For how long?
By an ordinance forever.
No, as long as we're in our homeland.
By an ordinance forever.
For ordinance forever. Right? So whoever tell you that you can't celebrate the Passover or any high holy day because you're not in your homeland, did not read this part where it said forever. Remember, the first Passover was done in Egypt. That wasn't our homeland. And the next 40 after that was done in the wilderness. So let nobody try to quench your zeal or put out your fire I tell you, we can't celebrate that. We're in captivity. Excuses. Worthless excuses. Yahweh just said forever, man.
Con.
Read on.
Verse 18. In the first month, on the 14th day of the month, at evening.
At what?
At even.
Because the Hebrew days start at evening. It doesn't start 12 o'clock at night. That is the so-called white man's witching hour. That's why he wants to start his day like that. Right? We start our days at evening. Right? After that day is finished, at the evening, it's a brand new day. It's like it says in Genesis, first it was darkness, then there was light. So we start all our days at evening. Right? At evening, you have to wait till the 14th day after that. Right? So after that new moon, you count 14 days after the new moon, and that's the Passover. Come? Read on.
Ye shall eat unleavened bread until the...
You shall what?
Eat unleavened bread until the 21st day of the month at evening.
See that? So the Most High, he's being repetitive. Because a lot of Israelites are remedial. They be like, what am I supposed to do again? Nah, the Most High told you, eat unleavened bread for 7 days. Right? You got to repeat it for you, Israel. Read on.
Verse 19. 7 days shall there be no leaven found in your houses.
You see that? He said, 7 days shall no leaven be found in your houses. I know certain people, you stocking up, preparing for the famine, so there might be leaven in your house, but just put it to the side or try to put it in a trunk or something. Because you don't want to slip up. It's like they read before, if you slip up, you cut off among the children of Israel.
Con.
Read on.
Verse 19. 7 days shall there be no leaven found in your houses. For whosoever eateth that which is leavened, even that soul shall be cut off from the congregation of Israel.
And he said that soul. So he's not even dealing with your flesh right now. He's not even dealing with that shell that you call a body. He's dealing with your soul. He said that soul shall be cut off. Read on.
Whether he be a stranger or born in the land.
Whether he be a stranger or born out the land, or he be born in the land. Right? He's not talking about a heathen. Read on.
Verse 20. Ye shall eat nothing leavened. In all your habitations shall ye eat unleavened bread.
Right? In all your habitations. No, just in the Holy Land.
In all your habitations shall ye eat unleavened bread.
No, in just the Middle East.
In all your habitations shall ye eat unleavened bread.
So it says in all your habitations. So once again, anyone that ever tells you that you ain't supposed to keep the Passover, or because you can't afford them tickets to Jerusalem, tell them you're a damn lie. All right, read on.
Verse 21. Come.
Verse 21. Exodus chapter 12, verse 21. Then Moses called for all the elders of Israel and said unto them, draw out and take you a lamb according to your families and kill the Passover.
You see that, Salakia? They want you to take a lamb according to your family. Now let's say if you got a family of 8, right? Y'all can eat a whole lamb by yourself. Let's say if you got a family of 3, you got to holler at your neighbor. Like, yo, we got to finish this lamb. I don't want it to all go to waste. See, when it comes to us as a people, we only kill the animals for nourishment and survival. We're not like Esau that killed that goat just to put his head on the wall. Right? We hold every piece of life dearly, especially the life that we grew up. Because, you know, when you have a farm, and I noticed this thing when I was in Jamaica, when you have a farm, sometimes the goats and lambs be part of the family. Even the pigs. They be part of the family. So if you got to eat that animal for nourishment, you got to treat that animal with a certain respect, man. You just can't be letting it go to waste. You can't let that life go to waste. Read that part one more time, Mark.
21. Then Moses called for all the elders of Israel and said unto them, draw out and take you a lamb according to your families and kill the Passover.
Read on.
And ye shall take a bunch of hyssop, and dip it in the blood that is in the basa, and strike the lintel and the two sides posts with the blood that is in the basa. And none of you shall go out of the door of his house until the morning.
You see that? Now, during this quarantine, we're going to be out of here before the morning. But usually, if we was holding in New York, we will be in this spot until like early morning, until daybreak. Right? That's how we get down. It said, none of you shall leave your house, because that death angel is flying around. You're supposed to be in your house with the blood on your doorpost and chilling there until the morning. And that death angel do his thing. You don't want to go out there and see something you ain't supposed to see and give up the ghost, all because you seen something. So you're supposed to stay in your house, right? He said, get the basin, the hyssop, lentils, dip it up in the blood, strike the door. That's it. Stay inside. Eat the lamb. Right? Drink the wine. Be merry. Go ahead.
And the Lord shall pass through to smite the Egyptians. And when he seeth the blood upon the lintel and on the two sides of posts, the Lord will pass over the door and will not suffer the destroyer to come into your houses to smite you.
You see that? The destroyer. Right? The death angel. He said he'll pass over you. Right? And that's a blessing, man. Especially with all the death going on. Brooklyn got U-Haul trucks full of bodies. I know people personally that lost people. Like even before the whole COVID thing, people was dropping dead. Kobe Bryant dying in a helicopter accident. It's a blessing to open your two eyes in the morning. So when the death angel's out, it's an extra blessing that he pass over you. And not slam dunking on the top of your house. Huh? Read on.
And ye shall observe this thing for an ordinance to thee and to thy sons forever. And it shall come to pass, when ye be come to the land which the Lord will give you according as he has promised, that ye shall keep his service. And it shall come to pass, when your children shall say unto you, what mean ye be this service? That ye shall say, it is the sacrifice of the Lord's Passover, who passed over the houses of the children of Israel at Egypt, and when he smote the Egyptians and delivered our houses, and the people bowed their heads and worshipped.
You see that? This is important verses. Those last two verses he read is very important. This is what you call heritage. This is what you call tradition. This is what you call culture. Because when your children ask you, why are we doing this? You say, listen, this is the Lord's Passover. This is when he killed the Egyptians. He destroyed the Egyptians because they were oppressing us. And so we could be free. This is what you call heritage that you pass down to your children. That's why it mentions your children. It says when your children ask why are we doing this, you explain to them. You explain to them how their culture goes, how their heritage goes. You ask a regular black man what's his culture and heritage, he'll give you everything the white man gave him. Christmas, Easter, Halloween, Black History Month. Oh, you get a month, homie? Oh, you get the shortest month, homie? Damn, homie. You know, so you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, but you Israelites, according to the Bible, this is the culture that Yahweh gave you. And he made it that the culture was never really lost. Even though it was taken from you during the transatlantic slave trade, it was never really lost. Because all the so-called white man did was put a white face on it and said, this is your Jesus. But all we had to do was read and find out the truth. By Shema Mashiach Yahushua.
Shema Mashiach Yahushua.
What verse is that?
That was 27.
27?
Uh-huh.
Go ahead, read on. One more.
28.
28.
And the children of Israel went away and did as the Lord had commanded Moses and Aaron, so did they. And they come to. Okay.
All right, so we're going to keep flowing. I'm going to go down to 29. Read down to about 36. All right, read that. Exodus 12:29. Read that.
And it came to pass that at midnight the Lord smote all the firstborn in the land of Egypt.
Right, the Lord smote all the firstborn in the land of Egypt. Go ahead.
From the firstborn of Pharaoh that sat on his throne unto the firstborn of the captive that was in the dungeon.
Go ahead.
And all the firstborn of the cattle.
The Lord killed them, their firstborn, and all their firstborn of cattle. Okay? So that's gangster right there. Okay? All right, that's what the Christians say. The Old Testament God is a bloody God. All right, all that killing in the Old Testament. All right? Why? Because there's a lot of war and destruction that the Most High brought, rightfully so, on our enemies. Okay? All right, read on.
Verse 30. And Pharaoh rose up in the night, he and all his servants, and all the Egyptians. And there was a great cry in Egypt, for there was not a house where there was not one dead.
Check that out. The Lord said there was not a house where there was not one dead. All right, and when you read in Psalms and Wisdom of Solomon, it goes into it more. But right here, the Most High said it also. I know I quoted about Psalms earlier, but the Most High said it right here also. It was not one house where there wasn't one dead. So you couldn't go to no Egyptian house from Pharaoh down to the captive in the dungeon where there was not one dead. Right, so the Most High, he is a man of war. Yahweh Ba'Shem HaMashiach Yahushua is his name. Exodus 15:3. Okay? All right, read on.
Verse 31. And he called for Moses and Aaron by night and said, Rise up and get you forth from amongst my people. Go ye and the children of Israel, and go serve the Lord as ye have said.
They said, look, get out of here, man. Go, go, go. All this death and destruction amongst us, just go. Other 9 plagues, I didn't learn nothing, but this 10th plague is a wrap. All right, please just go. Come on.
And the people, and the Egyptians, Salaki, verse 32. Also take your flocks and your herds, as ye have said, and be gone, and bless me also.
Go ahead.
Verse 33. And the Egyptians were urgent upon the people, that they might send them out of the land in haste, for they said, we all be dead, man.
Right, because when the 10th plague came, they said the only thing after this now is for the Most High to kill us. He done killed our firstborn, so we don't let Israel go. We all going to be dead. All right, so he said, look, go. Just get out of here. Go. All right, read on.
And the people took their dough before it was leavened, their netting troughs being bound up in their clothes upon their shoulders.
Go ahead.
Verse 35. And the children of Israel did according to the words of Moses, and they borrowed of the Egyptians jewels of silver and jewels of gold and raiment.
Right, because the Most I tell you, when you read, when you want to get the full understanding of the Passover, always read Exodus chapter 1 through 11 to find out what happened that led up to chapter 12. Because the Most High already told Moses, before y'all get up out of here, y'all going to spoil the Egyptians. All right, I'm going to deliver y'all, so look, y'all ain't going to need that. Let me get that. Let me get that gold, that silver. Anything of value you have, let me get it, because we getting up out of here. All right, go ahead. Right, God.
Verse 36.
They took their ox and melted them down and made shields.
Their ox and left them on 125th Street.
God. Right, go ahead.
And the Lord gave the people favor in the sight of the Egyptians.
Come on.
So that they lent unto them such things as they required. And they spoiled the Egyptians.
Right, and that's going to happen in these last days also. All right, give me somebody real quick. Get Job 20 and 10. When major prophecy and destruction start happening in this society, you got Edomites, heathens, hey, you guys are the servants of God, man. Everything you're saying is true. Here, man, just take it all. Yeah, that's going to start happening in these last days also. All right, give me Job 20 and 10 real quick. All right, the same thing. Because, listen, when the Most High make a nation bow down and show them his power, he make them bow down and show them his power. And that's going to happen right here. We're going to see that same power here in these last days. Watch when the Most High really start bringing this place down. All right, Job 20:10. You got it?
Go ahead.
Go ahead, read that.
His children shall seek to please the poor.
The Lord said his children, his being Esau, they're going to seek to please the poor. Go ahead.
And his hand shall restore their goods.
His hand is going to restore their goods. Because Esau raped, robbed, murdered. Everything he got off of our back. So the Lord said they're going to restore everything. All right, they're going to be giving it up in these last days also. To show that the Most High power is with us and we're going to be the next ruling nation. They're going to be like, here, man, just take it, man. America's finished anyway. You guys are the chosen. Here, just take it. Our forefathers was wrong for slavery. Here, just take it, man. Yeah, man. Most High going to have that same spirit happen in modern Egypt. Okay? All right, go back to Exodus 12 and 36 now. Yeah, read that.
All right. And the children of Israel journeyed from Ramses
37, yeah. Go ahead.
to Sukkot.
Come on.
And about 600,000 on foot that were men beside children.
Go ahead.
Verse 38. And a mixed multitude went up also with them.
Right, so the heathen, they saw the power of the Most High, and they was like, we want to go with y'all. We want to get up out of here with the Israelites. Because we see the power that y'all serve, and we see what he did to Egypt. We want to get out of here with y'all too. The heathen always tried to cleave unto us. We're going to see that now too. All right, go ahead.
And a mixed multitude went up also with them, and flocks and herds and very much cattle.
Go ahead.
Verse 39. And they baked unleavened cakes of dough, which they brought forth out of Egypt.
Right, remember they brought the dough out of Egypt with them because they still had to keep 7 days of unleavened bread. And they got delivered that night at midnight. So they still had to have that unleavened bread for 7 days. All right, go ahead.
For it was not leavened.
Go ahead.
Because they were thrust out of Egypt and could not tarry.
We didn't have time for the bread to rise and be waiting around. That was another reason why the Lord said make unleavened bread. All right, because later on, the bread came to symbolize Yahweh's body. But while he said, look, bake unleavened bread because you don't have time to sit there and let it rise and everything because you're going to be fleeing out of Egypt. So the Passover has, even the menu and the foods, they have a lot of spiritual significance to them also. All right, come on. Verse 39 again.
God. And they baked unleavened cakes of dough, which they brought forth out of Egypt. For it was not leavened, because they were thrust out of Egypt, and could not tarry. Neither had they prepared for themselves any victuals. Now,
that's it on that. So, Ephraim, you could take over from, just do like 40 to 45, and then y'all could take the rest. All right. From 12 and 40.
Verse 40. Now the sojourning of the children of Israel who dwelt in Egypt was 430 years.
So that's the time we spent within Egypt. So that 400-year prophecy, they go back and forth with that. Everybody want to keep bringing it back up. It's regurgitated. They have no understanding of it. And we're not going to go into the 400-year prophecy, but just to show you, we did more than 400 years in Egypt. All right? That was 430 years. Go ahead.
41. And it came to pass at the end of the 430 years, even the selfsame day, it came to pass that all the hosts of the Lord went out from that land of Egypt.
Right. Go ahead.
Verse 42. It is a night to be much observed unto the Lord, for bringing them out from the land of Egypt, that this is that night of the Lord to be observed of all the children of Israel in their generation.
And you see, so he tells you right there that this is, and all through the scriptures, the Most High is known as the power that took us out of the land of Egypt. He always tells you, he reminds you, he always brings it up. But there's going to be a time, and we're going to get it right now in the book of Jeremiah. I think it was 1916 or 1619. Or 9 and 16.
14, 16.
14, 16. There's going to be a time where the Most High is not going to be known as the God that took us out of the land of Egypt. And that's just to show you that the captivity we are living in right now is the greatest captivity we've ever been in. So the Most High is going to change that name. He's not going to be known as that no more. He's going to be known as what? You got it? That's not it?
16:14. So like in Jeremiah 16:14.
This is Jeremiah chapter 16, verse 14. Therefore, behold, the days come, saith the Lord Yahweh, that it shall no more be said, the Lord liveth, that brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt. But the Lord liveth, that brought up the children of Israel from the land of the north.
That's what the Most High is going to be known as. And you know it hasn't happened yet. Because still, he's known as the one that took us out of the land of Egypt. He's not known as the Lord and the power and the Almighty Yahweh that took us out of the land of the north. So that's a future prophecy. And that's just to show you that this captivity is the greatest of them all. You understand? That's why they're going to get double what Egypt got. They're going to get double of everything. All right?
Verse 43. And the Lord said unto Moses and Aaron, this is the ordinance of the Passover. There shall no stranger eat thereof.
Right. So that's just to show you. No other heathen, no nation can eat this. They can do it. Let them do it in their own house. They can't be amongst us. They can't be amongst the congregation. Even though that mixed multitude followed us, they still can't eat with us.
That's right.
So there is a distinction between us and them. So yes, we're not equal. Okay, go ahead.
Verse 44. But every man's servant that is bought for money, when thou hast circumcised him, then he shall eat thereof.
Right, then he can eat. And that's a servant that you bought with money. All right, because they're going to follow your house. They're known as the house of Judah, the house of Benjamin. They belong to you. So that's your property. Just like your animals got to keep the Day of Atonement also. Your animals got to keep the feast days also. All right? So the same way your animals got your other animals too. Your two-legged animals got it. Once they circumcise, they got to keep this law. And that's just to show you in the kingdom, we're going to rule in righteousness. We ain't going to do to Esau what they did to us. Yeah, some of that torture, yeah. But we ain't going to be homosexualizing them. We not going to be freaking them out. No buck breaking. We going to rule them in righteousness. And if you step out of line, you will get stripes across your back. And maybe across your face.
Right.
All right?
That's right.
Verse 45. A foreigner and an hired servant shall not eat thereof.
Yeah, he tell you again, he keep reminding you. This is for you, Israel. Stop giving your inheritance to the strangers. This book does not belong to everybody. The laws will apply to them once we get correct and we get in the kingdom. Worry about our people before you can worry about the others. Get your stuff together, all right? That's it.
46 and 51. The wide read or Yin experiment.
Verse 46. In one house shall it be eaten. Thou shalt not carry forth aught of the flesh abroad out of the house.
Hold that. So you're not supposed to get the Passover and go next door, go down the street, go to a whole different land. Just like it was reiterated earlier in the scriptures, you have to keep it in the house until what? Until sunrise. Until the next day. Until the evening is over. Right? Keep going.
Verse 46. Verse 46. The flesh of neither shall ye break a bone thereof.
And you can't break the bone. So when you're having the Passover, you make sure you don't break the bones. You end up breaking the bone, fracturing the skull. These are things you don't do. Right? Keep going.
Verse 47. All the congregation of Israel shall keep it.
All the congregation of Israel shall keep it. Now, I'm not going to name no names. There's brothers out there saying that certain, women can't keep it. All right? they'll say that women can't keep the Passover, but in the New Testament in Matthew's, it was the woman that brought the alabaster box of the Hamashiach to anoint him. That was Passover. So women is all Israel women are allowed to keep the Passover. Keep going. If they're clean, right? If there's no uncleanness in man, like if you touch the dead body, unless you work in a morgue, it's 7 days. If you're on your menstrual cycle, or if you just had a child, you're unclean. You can't attend the Passover, right? Keep going. That's like the brother said. That's why he did the second Passover, right? Keep going.
Verse 48. And when a stranger shall sojourn with thee, and will keep the Passover to the Lord, let all his males be circumcised.
Now hold that. Now when it says a stranger, the stranger is actually talking about your brother, right? The stranger is not talking about the heathen, just like we was reiterating earlier. Give me, if I can find it. It's the scripture that says, if your brother is waxing poor. That's in Deuteronomy. If your brother is waxing poor, though he be a stranger or a sojourner, you should take him in.
I think it's Deuteronomy 19. Somebody look that up.
So when you deal with the scriptures, a lot of people have a lot of confusion on that. They'll think that when it says stranger, a lot of Christians, they'll say, oh, it's a stranger, so that means it's obviously someone from a different nation, but that's not true. Even when you go into the New Testament, it'll say Gentile, but when you go into the Greek, it'll say Hellene. All right, bring out Deuteronomy 15:7. So even in the Old Testament, just like in the New Testament, we will refer to Israelite foreigners or Israelites who didn't keep the custom as strangers, sojourners, or Gentiles, right?
Bring it out. This book of Deuteronomy, chapter 15, verse 7. If there be among you a poor man of one of thy brethren within any of thy gates, in thy land, which the Lord thy God giveth thee, thou shalt not harden thine heart, nor shut thine hand from thine brother.
No, that's not the one I want.
You want the one?
Yeah.
Leviticus 25:35. That might be.
It's lucky. Yeah, Leviticus 25:35.
Yeah. Leviticus 25:35. And if thy brother be waxing poor, and fallen in decay with thee, then thou shalt relieve him. Yea, though he be a stranger.
Now hold that. Though he be a what?
A stranger.
Though he be a what?
A stranger.
No, though he be a man of a different nation. No, it says your brother. Your brother can be a stranger. I'm going to give you an example. Just walking down in the blocks in Atlanta, if you wearing the wrong colors and you turn the wrong block, they're going to treat you like a stranger. What set you from? What hood you from? Where you at? Right, they treating their brothers like strangers, and Israel was doing the same thing because they had that same spirit. It's like, we were born in Israel. Where you from? You from the land of Canaan? You from Cush? They'll treat their brothers wrong, but it says, though your brother be waxing poor, even though he's a sojourner and a what? Keep going.
Even though he be, though he may be a stranger or a sojourner, that he may live with thee.
That he may live with thee. So our brethren were strangers and sojourners because they were coming from different areas, not only from Egypt, but from different areas, from different nations. All right, let's go back. Let's go back to Exodus 12.
Exodus 12, we'll begin on verse 49. One law shall be to him that is homeborn, and unto the stranger that sojourneth amongst you.
Now, just like you have to keep the law in the land, that doesn't mean you can't keep, just like the brother reiterated earlier, You keep the Passover wherever you sojourn, wherever you at, whether you in Israel or over here in Babylon, America. So when it says he has to keep the law, or he has to keep it, it doesn't matter where he's at. If your brother was a sojourner, just like in the scriptures where it says Paul was traveling to go to Israel. Paul, you'll see scriptures where Paul said, I'm a Roman, because he was a Roman citizen, but he was a Benjamite and he was an Israelite. He'll let you know that. But he went and made that travel to what? Keep the Lord's Passover. Right, keep going.
Verse 50. Thus did all the children of Israel as the Lord commanded Moses and Aaron. So did they.
So everyone listened to Aaron and Moses. Keep going.
Verse 51. And it came to pass the selfsame day that the Lord did bring the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt by their armies.
By their armies. So when we left Egypt, we came out as an army. We come out with a strong, militant, and organized spirit. When you're dealing with an army, it's organized. It has structure. It has codes that they live by, just like the commandments of the Lord. So this is an army. Just like when the Lord come back, the 144 is what? His army, his boots on the ground. Right? That's it.
All right, that's it. All right, Khan. So everybody understand Exodus the 12th chapter? Khan? All right, so that's the a brief, very brief understanding of the Passover and what we're here celebrating tonight, the second month. Khan? Our great deliverance out of the land. Huh? No. Just bring a cup. Just bring a cup in the bottle. Yeah. Our great deliverance out of the land of Egypt, because what happened? The Most High passed over the houses of the Israelites when he let the death angel, which was H.O.I, kill the firstborn of the Egyptians. H.O.I passed over our houses and killed the firstborn inside the Egyptians' house. So that's where, hence the name Passover comes from. Okay? And our deliverance of 400 years of bondage in ancient Egypt. We were there for 430, but it was 400 years of bondage. And there's some discrepancies of the time frame. And that's because the Egyptian time frame is a different calculation with the Egyptian time frame. So a lot of brothers would teach that Israel was only in captivity for 80 years, which goes directly against Scripture. Don't bring me some book somewhere when the Scriptures is clear on what it says.
The days of the week the Egyptians used to go by were 10 days. The Hebrews went by 7-day calendars, but the Egyptians went by 10-day calendars. You understand? So there was a whole lot of mix-up when it came to timing, our timing versus their timing. That's all I want to say.
That's why a lot of the so-called black conscious cats, they will challenge you on the Exodus and the date and the different pharaohs and stuff. But that's only because, and it is, when you go into the books and the different history, when you read about the Egyptian history, a lot of times the scholars are going according to the Egyptian system of counting time, as opposed to the Hebrew system of counting time. So that's what it's not. Well, they got a date for this pharaoh and a date because it was different time frames. So the Egyptian history was counted, like Chabapar said, on a 10-day week rotation, as opposed to the regular 7-day week rotation. So that's why you will, when you study it, you'll get a lot of discrepancies with the time frames because the scholars are going according to Egyptian time and some are going according to Hebrew time. Because the Egyptians were just all over the place, man. You know what I'm saying? All right, so that's why you might see discrepancies with dates and stuff. But, when you study and read and go through it, you see that it is actual evidence that this stuff transpired. All right, Jacques Cousteau, he found Pharaoh's chariots in the bottom of the Red Sea. And then all of a sudden he was dead. You know what I'm saying? he found the chariots when he went to the bottom of the Red Sea. He did one expedition But then he went back. He found them. He said, listen, no. We found and discovered the chariots of Pharaoh that followed Israel out of Egypt. We found them at the bottom. We found trace evidence of them at the bottom of the Red Sea. And shortly after that, H.O.I was dead. Right? Because what? It gave validity to the story of the Israelites being delivered out of Egypt and the Most High drowning the Egyptians. What is giving credence to our power? Is giving an evidence of our power. So Esau didn't like that. All right, but or he didn't like for him to bring it publicly. If they would have found it and hid it on their own, but H.O.I came out with it publicly. All right, he found it. There was articles on it and everything that he found the chariots in the bottom of the Red Sea. And a lot of times they'll scrub the internet of information like that. All right, but I got old newspaper articles where they brought out that he found the chariots. So there's evidence, a lot of evidence, archaeology and everything, from books like Our Living Bible, where you see the Israelites on looking dark skin, fringes and everything on the walls of the Egyptian, the hieroglyphics or whatever, and the different paintings. You see Israel there. You see dark skin, all right, woolly hair, Negro features, and they were the ones in bondage, having a total different look from the Egyptians. All right, a dark-skinned people, but looking different. So there's evidence. But if there's a discrepancy in a time frame, they'll try to gainsay and say, well, you know, the time is off, so you guys never existed. The Israelites never existed. Right, which is so much evidence, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, we can get into some of the history and stuff at another time. All right, bring it out.
Yeah, also, the Egyptians was known for erasing history.
God.
So one pharaoh didn't like the last pharaoh, and then he erased his stuff on the Egyptian walls. And that's one thing the Most High gave us. The Bible, you get the good, the bad, the ugly. The Most High never erased our history.
God.
Right, it stays there for you to see it, for you to learn from it, and it's the good, the bad, the ugly. So Egyptians was known for, just like America erased history. That's why they tell you, don't worry about slavery. It just happened. We over it now. Get over it. So the same way they try to erase history, they give you white Jesus. There's a meme that they say you give 50 more years, they're going to tell you Tupac is a white man.
Good.
So that's just the way it is.
All right, so let's go to Numbers, the 9th chapter. All right. Go to Numbers, the 9th chapter and the 1st verse. And this is, you know, what we're celebrating tonight, May 6th, so-called May 6th, 2020 on Esau's calendar, the second or make-up Passover. All right, because when we read Exodus 12 and 47, it said, all the congregation of Israel shall keep it. So one of the things the Most High did, he said, listen, if you're unclean in the first month, or you, for whatever reason, you could not keep it in the first month, I'm going to let you make it up in the second month. That's how serious the Passover was. So that's what we're here doing tonight. All right, God? All right, Numbers chapter 9 and verse 1. Read that.
This is the book of Numbers, chapter 9, verse 1. And the Lord spake unto Moses in the wilderness of Sinai in the first month of the second year, after they were out of the land of Egypt, saying, let the children of Israel also keep the Passover at his appointed season.
Right, so we were already out of the land of Egypt, and we were wandering through the wilderness. We was about to go through our 40-year period. And what happened? That second year coming out of Egypt, we kept the Passover again. Were we in Jerusalem yet? No. So all that about you can't keep the Passover if you're not in the walls of Jerusalem, that's not true. The first 41 Passovers was kept outside of Jerusalem. All right, go ahead.
Verse 3. In the 14th day of this month at even, ye shall keep it in his appointed season, according to all the rites of it, and according to all the ceremonies thereof shall you keep it.
Right, so the Most High said, look, just because you came out of Egypt, you got to still keep the Passover, even in the wilderness. All right, go ahead.
Verse 4. And Moses spake unto the children of Israel that they should keep the Passover. And they kept the Passover on the 14th day of the first month, at even in the wilderness of Sinai, according to all that the Lord commanded Moses, so did the children of Israel.
Go ahead.
And there were certain men who were defiled by the dead body of a man, that they could not keep the Passover on that day. And they came before Moses and before Aaron on that day.
Right, so let's say like back in April, the Passover was April 6th, the first month. Let's say April 3rd, you had a nearest of kin that passed away, or you went to a funeral or a wake. You're unclean for 7 days. So if you went on the 3rd to a funeral or a wake or whatever, a viewing of a body, you was around a dead body or in the same room with a dead body, you're unclean for 7 days. So by the time April 6th came, you was on the 3rd or 4th day of your uncleanness. So you couldn't come to the Passover. Okay? All right, read on.
And those men said unto him, we are defiled by the dead body of a man. Wherefore are we kept back, that we may not offer an offering of the Lord in his appointed season amongst the children of Israel?
It said, man, we unclean, but we don't want to miss the Passover. All right, that was the zeal Israel had. Remember when you read in 1 Samuel 20, and they said, how come David didn't come to the new moon today? Oh, he must be unclean. He's unclean. Because what? We took the feast days serious, and the only way you wasn't at a feast day is if you were unclean, you were in some type of warfare, you were on a journey or whatever the case may be. But if it was nothing hindering you, you was to be there at that feast day. Okay? Just like now, we shouldn't make no excuses. All right, you should make no excuses. You know when a feast day coming up, you in your different areas, your different leaders in your camps in your different areas, they let you know when the next feast day coming up, or y'all watch the classes, or you see the calendar, or whatever, and we announcing the feast days. Make proper preparation. And make sure you attend the feast days. If you're not sick, unclean, something hindering you, an emergency, we know is captivity. You know what I'm saying? But if it's not a legitimate excuse, you're supposed to be gathering for the feast days. Okay? All right, go ahead.
And Moses said unto them, stand still, and I will hear what the Lord will command concerning you.
Right. He said, listen, I'm not going to lean on my own understanding. He said, let me take this to the Most High, and let me see what the Most High say. All right, come on.
And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto the children of Israel, saying, if any man of you or of your posterity shall be unclean by reason of a dead body, or be in a journey afar off, yet he shall keep the Passover of the Lord.
Right, so it just mentions here a dead body on a journey, but any situation. All right, when you use wisdom, it's basically any situation that kept you from keeping the Passover in the first month. Go ahead.
The 14th day of the second month at even, they shall keep it.
So that's what we're doing tonight. All right, when we come back to these laws, we got to really come back to these laws. So, you know, like Shower Park brought out, we had the benefit this year of keeping the Passover in our homes, like ancient Egypt, and being able to gather together. God? Right, that's the blessing of the Most High. Go ahead.
And eat it with unleavened bread.
It said the same thing. Just like you would keep it in the first month, eat it with unleavened bread. Go ahead.
And bitter herbs.
And bitter herbs. Come on.
They shall leave none of it until the morning, nor break any bone of it.
Right, like we read in Exodus 12, you was not supposed to break any bone. Back then, we would roast the entire lamb fully. Now you got lamb shanks, chops, whatever. Even if you get a whole lamb, you get it slaughtered. You got to get it cut up into pieces to be able to roast it. Or some, you know, if you had a facilities, you can actually roast the whole lamb. But the Most High said, don't break a bone of it. So technically, even now, when we get you get it cut up and different things, you still kind of like breaking into the bone. But back then, we roasted the entire lamb with everything. Just right there, we just cut the meat right off that lamb. Okay? And the not breaking of the bone is symbolic to who? By a show of hands, don't yell out. Ari?
Yeah, H.O.I.'s bone not being broken when he was crucified.
God, hallelujah. Because the Romans had a custom where they would break your legs. They would break your legs when they had you up on a cross, and they would set fires under you. Right? Because of the asphyxiation and the breaking of your legs, it would hasten your death. But in Yahushua's case, that didn't happen to him. They didn't break not a bone in his body. He just gave up the ghost. The Most High gave him power to give his own ghost up. All right. He said, look, I still got power over my death through the Most High. You're not going to break my bones and set a fire under me or whatever and hasten my death. My spirit is going to be called up to the Most High through his power. Okay? All right, and it said it did not break. So the breaking of the not breaking of the bone of the lamb was symbolic to Yahushua. That's why when you go back, even before Yahushua came on the scene, all feast days and everything has a spiritual significance to him before he even came on the earth. Okay? All right, go ahead.
Verse 12. They shall leave none of... Oh, Salakia. Verse 13. But the man that is clean...
The man that's clean, come on.
And is not on the journey...
And not in the journey, go ahead.
And forbear to keep the Passover...
You don't have no excuse. There's no excuse. You're not unclean, you're not on a journey, you're not in an emergency, you're not sick. Right, come on.
Even the same shall be cut off from amongst his people.
You're going to be judged by the Most High. Cut off means put to death, but it may be, just a severe judgment right now. But in other words, the Most High going to deal with you if you don't have a legitimate reason for not attending his feast day. Right, come on.
Because he brought not the offering of the Lord in his appointed season.
Right, he didn't bring the offering of the Lord in his appointed season. Remember, in the law, it was 3 times in a year that all males had to appear before the Most High. All right, come on.
That man shall bear his sin.
That man is going to bear his sin. Come on.
Verse 14. And if a stranger shall sojourn among you, and will keep the Passover unto the Lord, according to the ordinances of the Passover, and according to the manner thereof, so shall he do. Ye shall have one ordinance, both for the stranger and for him that was born in the land.
Right, so it's no respect to persons. Like Paul said, there's neither Jew nor Greek. All right, a foreign Israelite or a Gentile-minded Israelite, once they come amongst the body and repent, the law applies to them also. Okay? It's one law, all right? A foreigner or one born in the land. No matter what, when our people, they come back to this knowledge, all right, no matter what walk of life that they're coming from, the law applies to them also. They got to do the same thing that we're doing. No, you just come out the Christian church, so you okay. They might not learn all the laws perfectly right away, but they got to keep the law just like a brother that's been in the truth for 20 years. They got to learn them and keep them as they go along also. Okay? All right, so read on. No, that's it on that. All right, go to Leviticus 23. All right, now I'm going to show y'all something. There's a lot of Israelites that will say, if something is not in Leviticus, the 23rd chapter, we're not supposed to follow it. All right? It's not law. It's not Torah. It's not in the feast days. Guess what? The second Passover is not in Leviticus 23. The Passover itself is in Leviticus 23. But what? The second Passover was something that was added later. So what does that show you? The Most High got the power to add or take away what he wants to. Man don't have that power. But the Most High got that power. So when we keep Hanukkah, we keep Purim, we keep all the other feast days, a lot of brothers got a problem with that. If it's not Leviticus 23, it's not law. Even though the second Passover was added in Numbers, which is law, but the Most High added it later on. He can add whatever he wants to. Whether it's the time of the law or further along in history. Who the hell are you to tell the Most High when he can add something to his feast days? Oh, well, that's not Leviticus 23. It's not Torah, brother, so I don't follow that. So you putting the Most High in a box what he can add to his feast days? When you look at something like Hanukkah, the Feast of Dedication, that was something that was prophesied by Daniel, and the Most High wanted it to happen at a certain time, and he added it to the feast days of Israel. Okay? So just like the Passover's in Leviticus 23, but the second Passover's not there. It's in Numbers. So the Most High can add anything at any time that he decides to. Who are you to say if it's not the first 5 books that you can't add it? No. All right, just like Leviticus 23 only mentions the 7th new moon. It doesn't mention all the new moons. But then you go to Numbers 28 and you go to Numbers 10 and it mentions the new moon. It mentions the beginning of the month. Okay? So the Most High can add what he wants whenever he feel like wanting to add it. Whether it's in the law or later on in history. Right, Leviticus 23. Read that, brother. And 4.
Come on. There are feasts of the Lord. These are the feasts of the Lord, even holy convocations, which ye shall proclaim in their season. Verse 5. In the 14th day of the first month.
No, the second month.
The first month.
The first month. So my point being, even though it's still the Passover, but the second month Passover is not Leviticus 23. It was added later on. All right, come on.
At even is the Lord's Passover. And on the 15th day of the same month is the feast of unleavened bread unto the Lord. Unto the Lord. 7 days ye must eat unleavened bread.
Go ahead.
And the first day ye shall have an unholy convocation. Ye shall do no servile work therein. But ye shall offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord 7 days. And the 7th day is an holy convocation. Ye shall do no servile work therein.
Right, so the point being, that's only the mention of the original Passover, or the first Passover in the first month. When you go down, when you read the rest of Leviticus 23, there's no mention of a second month Passover. So what happened? The Most High added it later on. Okay? All right, so you get these Hebrews that want to argue and nitpick, and it's not Leviticus 23. They go beyond Torah. They say it's not Leviticus 23. So now you going, if it's not Leviticus, you're not even saying Torah. It's just if it's not Leviticus 23, it's not a feast day of the Lord. That's not true. Because the second Passover is in the book of Numbers. Okay?
Yasha Allah, we would like to spend more time, but time is running. So I'm going to give the mic back to the elder, and we're going to go through the service so we can, eat, drink, and be merry. Because we're running short on time. We started late. And and the performance by our beloved Dawood in the back. I shout out to the Ak. So we about to wrap it up soon. But if anybody have any more questions or anything afterwards, we are doing street teaching tomorrow night by the Hooters on Peachtree Street. So you can get some more in-depth teaching. What time?
8 p.m. 8 p.m. Come. 8 p.m. It'll probably just be us, but we'll have class camp amongst each other. Okay? All right, quarantine. Okay. All right, so that was it anyway. For more in-depth understanding of the Passover, go back to the videos and the lessons we did back in April. Okay? We covered much more ground and scriptures because, most of us was home, so we can do extensive lessons. We wasn't on a time frame. So we really just want to read Exodus 12 and Numbers 9 to see what we're here for tonight. But for more in-depth breakdown of the Passover, watch the past videos from H.O.I. Or come out tomorrow, or email us, ask questions, whatever. But we got tons of videos, out there. Look them up. The channel got taken down, but we got a lot of videos backed up. They'll be back up somewhere in due time. But, ask questions, email us, inbox us, and we'll edify you deeper on the Passover. Okay? All right, but for those that have been here, you should have been reading and studying, and you should have a general understanding of the Passover already. Okay? All right, so that concludes the second month Passover service. All praise to the Most High Yahweh. Hallelujah. Imagine with Panya Yerusham, standing face Jerusalem with the east for closing prayer. Repeat the Hebrew only drink offering. Blessed are you, Yahweh, that gives us the fruit of the vine. Barakatah Yahweh, Hahawa'ah, Nathalanawa, Hapaya, Hagapan, Ba'ashem, Hamashiach, Yahawashai, the water, the yard, I will. Amen. Hallelujah. La Yahweh, La Yahawashai, La Yasha'ala, La Pasak. Hallelujah. Dam Yahawashai, blood of Yahawashai. Hallelujah. Four corners prayer, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Hamashiach, Yahweh, Salakia, Barak Noah, Waishala, Wahabiyah Sapaya, Shema, Yashavala, Yahweh, Ala Hayanawa, Yahweh, Acha, Shema, Yashavala, Yahweh, Ala Hayanawa, Yahweh, Acha, Shema, Yashavala, Yahweh, Ala Hayanawa, Yahweh, Acha, Shema, Yashavala, Yahweh, Ala Hayanawa, Yahweh, Hear, O Israel, Yahweh, Power, Yahweh is one. Hallelujah. 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 Come here, Shabbat. All right, we're going to do the anointing prayer. But we're going to all do the anointing prayer together. Just a general anointing prayer for the body of Israel. Numbers 6, 22 to 27. Hallelujah. 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 Yabaraki Yahweh. Wayashamaka. Ya'al Yahweh. Pan Yahweh. Al Yakar. Wayachankai. Yasha'al Yahweh. Pan Yahweh. Al Yakar. Wayashamlakar. Shalom. Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Hamashiach, Yahawashai, Bobakusha, Shemai, Nawa, Aita, Shalak, Ma'ika'ala, Walahayim, La, Shema'ayo, Barak, Rapar, Izar, Magun, Kazak, Hatzazayah, Kwawa, Yashala, 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 Ko, Akim, Ko, Akwafim, Ko, Bunyum, Yashala, Ba'ashem, Hamashiach, Yahawashai, the water, the yard, I will long. Amen. Hallelujah. The word number 6, 22 to 27, English translation. Hallelujah. 6:22 to 27 to the end.
And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto Aaron and unto his sons, saying, On this wise ye shall bless the children of Israel, saying unto them, The Lord bless thee and keep thee. The Lord make his face shine upon thee and be gracious unto thee. The Lord lift up his countenance upon thee and give thee peace. And they shall put my name upon the children of Israel, and I will bless them.
Hallelujah. 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 Yahweh. Ba'ashem. Hamashiach. Yahawashai. Bobakusha. Barak. Nawa. Pasak. Wa. Nawa. Shabaf. Wa. Nawa. Rum. Yawam. Bobakusha. Barak. Ko. Kagyam. Mayasha'ala. Bobakusha. Ba'ashem, HaMashiach, Yahawashai, the water, Tamyad, Awalam. Amen. Yahweh, Ba'ashem, HaMashiach, Yahawashai, Barak, Ma'akol, Nawa, Yayan, Nawa, Kag, Shal, Pasak, Nawa, Babakushal, Ba'ashem, HaMashiach, Yahawashai, Tamyad, Awalam, Amen. Blessed O Most High Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Mashiach, Yahawashai, please bless our food and drink, our Passover meal that we're about to receive. Bless the Passover, our Sabbath, our holy and exalted day. Ba'ashem, Mashiach, Yahawashai, so be it. The water Amen. Hallelujah. 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 Good. All right. Hold on once again. Good. All right, so that concludes the ceremonial part of the second month makeup Passover. Hallelujah. Everybody repeat after me. Ashar, Pasak. Happy Passover 2020 for the first month and the second month. Hallelujah. So at this time, we're going to get some few brothers and sisters to serve, and we're going to eat the Passover meal together. All right, and we'll go from there. All right, hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Anybody want to help serve, please?
Right now, let's get everybody a plate with lamb, bitter herbs, and unleavened bread on it. And wine or grape juice if you don't drink wine. We're going to all do the Passover Seder meal together. Okay? All right.
Bitter herbs for everybody.
Okay. Bitter herb challenge. All right. So everybody before, listen up. Listen up, Shemai. When you get your food in front of you, do not eat it. We're going to all eat it together. Okay? All right, so don't see that piece of lamb and get tempted. All right? And bite into it. All right? You're going to eat. The Passover is not about eating. It's about coming together and remembering coming out of Egypt, even though we eat the meal. So everybody, when you get your food in front of you, we're going to try to do it in a timely manner because we still got the fellowship and the performance. So get your food in front of you so we can eat the meal together. Good? All right. Good. Bring the rashi right here. Come here, Shala. All right. So everybody get a lamb, unleavened bread, bitter herbs, and a cup of wine or grape juice or whatever the case may be. All right? On your plate. And in your cup. Well, we might as well start now. East New York. Beast New York. And you don't drink no man of showers, then you ain't people gonna ask you. Explain the Passover. Yeah.
slipping, man. Nobody gonna cork. Hey, there's wine in the cooler. Come down here. They should have a cork opener in here. Come down here.
I'm not gonna cut the cameras yet. Huh? I'm not gonna cut the cameras yet.
What about the cameras? Oh, no, we're still filming.
Oh, it's so cold.
You have a corkscrew now?
Oh, they'll record it.
You can get it out.
You want me to record the performance, right?
Huh?
The performance.
I'll tell you when we don't have to get everything. Yeah.
That's right. What's up?
Trying to prepare ourselves, keep ourselves clean so that we can be used. It is our mask is our faith. So long you keep your faith in and do exactly what He tells us to do. That's right. That's our mask right there. That's where that thing. So they can take it how they want to take it. Hey. Hey. Shout out H.O.I. We here. Hey. 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 Hey, leaving up, that's a guy saying, brother, you can take it how you want to take it. We just want to get the peace, want our people to the peace. You can make it what you want to make it. You know we're working with the script. You can take it how you want to take it. Time is coming and they know it. They will never ever show it. They can take it how they want to take it. We the show. You can see the hate. Became a man, ain't got out the major. Ain't got out the aces. I hit the floor and got back to the basics. Then had it out and got deny your back. Held on to my soul, didn't have to buy it back. All the steam to the power, no other way. It was either trap or tip the tilt. What the weather say? We dropping all, I hope you got it out. Keep it humble, since the meat will end up being chopped. On the time, on the devil got the power with me. They got the girl and I don't know, Bobby Browder with me. You with me, brother, now you get the sipping. If you knew about the fruit, then you would get the sipping. He turned his water to Sienna, now I'm feeling married. Waxing the hole in his skin, I'm an elderberry. No division linking up, that's the guy I see your brother. You can take it how you want to take it. We just want to keep the peace, point our people toward the peace. You can make it what you want to make it. You know we're working through the script. With the righteous, you can take it how you want to take it. Our time is coming in and going. They will never overthrow it. They can take it how they want to take it. That's the reason. We've been here for 400 years, but we have to see. Climbed out the downhill, I had to unbelieve it. Can't believe we been chosen. We used to be unbelievers. Brothers. Mind culture forever. When we wish that we bring it. Eyes closed on these devils. Yasha told us watch and pray so we awake. Hey, no better. I'm seeking our wise counsel till I'm surrounded by elders. Big shout out to the boys out. The rock up. You know I gon' do the work. You know this gon' turn them up. Down who picked the lane for us. A penny damn got me testimony. Let away the service up. They gon' hit this and turn it up. Soon enough you gon' turn on your radio and hear the truth. If Jacob's trouble, who you think they gon' listen to? Hold up, ain't that little D-Rock. Go Hardy Drive. So the trucker, we ain't all time. I'm on tour time. There's a y'all saying, brother, you can take it how you want to take it. We just want to keep the peace. Point our people toward the peace. You can make it what you want to make it. You know we thinking in the streets. Only reckon with the righteous. You can take it how you want to take it. I try to coming in and going. They would never overthrow us. They can take it how they want to take it. Hey, how they want to take it. Take it how they want to take it. That's right, man. We linking up. Most certainly linking up. I appreciate y'all for having me here, man. You know what I'm saying? It ain't nothing like an extra Passover. You did.
That's what I'm talking about. Hey, we're gonna go to that back about there. Ain't nothing like an extra Passover, man. Yeah. Let's show right there. Okay, so I'm gonna do it. Ooh. It's your favorite night. Y'all know we had to pull up with the pull up, boys. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I had to pull up. I had to pull up. I had to pull up. Hey, I saw my brother sit down, so I had to pull up. I had to pull up. I had to pull up. Speaker got heavy on the house, so I had to pull up. I had to pull up. I had to pull up. You know they do and I ain't bluffing. Watch how I pull up. Watch how I pull up. Watch how I pull up. A simple exercise, baby. I'm just gonna pull up. I'm just gonna pull up. I'm just gonna pull up. You know it ain't a job message unless you see it with the words. Ain't no blessing coming from it unless you doing what you heard. In the broken on the mantle, I need a word for the birds. In my whole bandana, I ride on devils and the serve. Catch me brewing on the regular, put my faith in regular. Doing what everybody know my name, like cheers, I'm a regular. I'm going hard at the kingdom, go in the all on the scene. Watch them once talk circus. Let me drag through the wrinkle. Never giving them the finger. I keep the index coming. They got clear windows. I keep the windex on me. Just been cruising. I'm just trying to be the sign. Been go waiting for a truth. Just gotta hold in line. I've been pulled up skirt. I initiated first. Raised out the dirt. I done treated his spurt. I done ran into the plug. I had to put my people on. People wonder what we doing. Now but the rights are going on. I saw my bro sit down, so I had to pull up. I had to pull up. I had to pull up. Still got heavy on the house, so I had to pull up. I had to pull up. I had to pull up. You know they brewing, they ain't playing. Watch how I pull up. Watch how I pull up. Watch how I pull up. This simple exercise measure. I'm just gonna pull up. I'm just gonna pull up. I'm just gonna pull up. I tell my bro was sitting down, so I had to pull up. I had to pull up. I had to pull up. Still got heavy on the house, so I had to pull up. I had to pull up. I had to pull up. They know they brewing, they ain't playing. Watch how I pull up. Watch how I pull up. Watch how I pull up. Simple exercise, man. I'm just gonna pull up. I'm just gonna pull up. I'm just gonna pull up. Like shit. Hey, we got one more. I got one more. I got one more. Then we got, hey, one more. Y'all know I like to do this right here, man. I love to get in front of the family, man. And, you know, hey, exalt the Most High. That's what I like to do. Cause I already know we all love the Most High. Yeah, that's what I love doing. I love to esteem the Most High. That's it. That's all I like to do. It's your favorite eye. Hey. Got you on my mind, all I think so. Statutes and commandments, that's my bankroll. Spinning wide, top of the line, that's that up there. With all of your money and blue on my mind, you got me up there. They got like you who ain't doing this land, I do call the pedal a little harder. They think that my brother born in San Diego, cause I ain't really like Charlie. Me and my brother burn them all, really brothers really wrote on the water. We trading the tongues and nations and Moses, that's how we walking on water. I keep the streets, they down me plant, they why would I lead to the slaughter? And then I can celebrate, thought it was flatbread, he would have free with a bottle. Holding on my right hand, baby, in my right hand, always doing what I taught. I get into the teeth, yeah, way paper leaf, I'm a straight pair, walking out of solid. They know it ain't a ball, though, never rap a ball, though, y'all on my mind in my collar. Y'all was all alone to the family laws, and I got a big bro in the bottom. Stepping on battle like feet, like
they lying on you. If they getting out of line, I'm a build. Gotta go on up and off in the school. Got your hood on my mind, all I think so. Cherry statues and commandments on my bankroll. Spinning wide, top of the line, this that up there. Get out of my body, you on my mind, you got me up there. Got your hood on my mind, all I think so. Cherry statues and commandments on my bankroll. Spinning wide, top of the line, this that up there. Get out of my body, you blue in my mind, you got me up there. Got you on my mind, all I think so. Said statues and commandments in my bankroll. Spinning wide, top of the line, this that up there. Get out of my body and blue in my mind, you got me up there. Got you on my mind, all I think so. Said statues and commandments, that's my bankroll. Spinning wide, top of the line, this that up there. Get out of my body and blue in my mind, you got me up there. Hey, shout out, big love to the family. Appreciate y'all for having me, man. Always love, elder. Always love.
God.
Respect, body no respect. Respect, body no respect. Keep the law, never get sick. Righteous checks, never chase a check. Mask off, every mask off. Mask off, every mask off. Never sick, never ever test. Righteous checks, never chase a check. Supreme Cup, that we won't in my cup. Lift him up, that COVID ain't enough. We celebrate, you moving through the stretch. Don't lose the faith, that's a big mistake. We gotta breathe, hold on with the cheese. Them righteous shit, them devils know a place. Them two of horns, roll around with the flu. Ain't no beef, they talking for a joke. From the alley, came on striking like a mouse. Get the jet, I got the prices like I stole it. Too much crew, around the E, I made a purpose. Shoot my vibes, I don't do no Sunday shows. Respect, probably no respect. Respect, probably no respect. Keep the law, never get sick. Righteous checks, never chase a check. Mask off, every mask off. Mask off, every mask off. Never sit, never ever test. Righteous checks, never chase a check. Mask off, all 2020. Oh, big love, man. We just celebrate, keep trying to run this thing, man. That's right. Big love to the H.O.I. fam, man. Big love.
Give it up again for beloved Daoud. Good. Come on, Israel, do better than that. Give it up for the brother again. Come here, Shalom.
Let them know why the mask off, huh?
Why the mask off, man? Hey, it's straight faith, man. Straight faith.
That's right.
Mask off.
Mask off.
That's right, man.
Call your Shala.
Hallelujah. Whoever's here is supposed to be here. All praise to Yahweh by Shem Mashiach Yahushai. So we're going to enjoy the rest of the night, Israel, all praises in the spirit of the Mashiach. And I want all my brothers, where y'all at? Where all my brothers at? I just got one question. Who can answer the question? One question. Who got next?
We got next.
Who got next?
We got next.
Who got next?
We got next.
For how long?
Forever.
For how long?
Forever.
For how long?
Forever.
What we gonna do?
Take the kingdom.
What we gonna do?
Take the kingdom.
What we gonna do?
Take the kingdom.
Win.
Now.
Win.
Now.
Win.
Now.
How?
Washibra Shakasha.
How?
Washibra Shakasha.
Damn it, how?
Washibra Shakasha.
Come and shut up.
Yeah, that's the one.
I am not stealing no weapon. My time has come, I'll accept it. I'm just trying to be righteous. Without question. Not Israel, not black no more. That's a soldier. Everybody knows I'm again. That's extortion. For 400 years, we just get fit. Trying to rise up, we righteous. Not like us. Why a lot is spread up? That's why I'm yelling on the block. Yo! Keep it spread up. Hey! Keep it on that on top. Hey! Keep that percent. 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 H.O.I. can say it, fuck it. Hold this
Hey, what the Israelites gonna do? Make it hot. What the Israelites gonna do? Make it hot. Hey.
Saturday morning, rise and shine, hit the block, make it hot, shake it down, we gon' ride it till about 4 or 5 o'clock. Warfare, I'm there, I'm prepared for the op, and we talking how we walking, yeah, this is how we rock. Friday night, gotta rest, in the morning, hit the block, shake it down, we gon' ride it till about 4 or 5 o'clock. Warfare, I'm there, I'm prepared for the op, and we talking how we walking, yeah, this is how we rock. Radio Network, H.O.I. Wanna blow me, don't breaks, do this till the death of me. I'm an Elohim, careful what you say to me. I don't want to talk, we been the chosen ones. I heard you playing again, yeah. What do you got? What do you got? What do you got? This talk is tight. What do you got? You see me say, yeah, we got that remedy. What do you got? What do you got? What do you got that good for me? What do you got? Cause I need help. What do you got? This talk is cheap. So I dedicate to do the series we got. We not moving corners, so they thinking that we got. Never get it twisted, hey, don't sleep. We the sanctified, we pull up to your hood to clean the sheet, yeah, yeah. And I'm blessed, Wolfie on the press, hey. What I do is a rain van, rain for the rest. To the east, from the west, on a quest. On that work, on the flesh. H.O.I. make it hot, H.O.I. make it hot, H.O.I. make it hot, H.O.I. make it hot. I'm there for the op, and we talking how we walking, yeah, this is how we rock. Friday night, gotta rest, in the morning, hit the block, shake them down, we go at it till about 4 or 5 o'clock. Warfare, I'm there for the op, and we talking how we walking, yeah, this is how we rock. Hit the block, make it hot, they be shocked, that's a wop. Watch a doctor, head chop, body drop, get the mop. This a jam, it's a bop, for the flop, top to top. How much love, that's a lot. On the quest, not a yacht, got a Glock, don't pop, that's a problem. Nigga, stop, in the mirror, check this watch. Just in the corner, we ain't might get home. From here to California, people up with this got sliding like a rain.
They get the money and go, leaving us stuck in the bottom. Soon as they spot them, they got them. I tell you, the devil is rotten. I know that them niggas are scheming and plotting. It won't be forgotten. Yahweh is watching. Soon as he give us the power, my nigga, you know that we getting it popping.
Yahweh by shit, God.
Send a prayer through the Wi-Fi, let it radiate through the sky. Only thing that I'm telling y'all, I ain't telling y'all no lies. Main thing that I pray for is God see it with my own eyes.
Keep the commandments, keep the faith. Keep the commandments, keep the faith. Keep the commandments, keep the faith. Keep the commandments. That's right. Keep the commandments and keep the faith. That's right. Keep the commandments and keep the faith. Keep the commandments and keep the faith.
Persecution's on the rise. Time for my people to rise up. Open your spiritual eyes up. Tribulation is upon us. Esau wanna murder us. Make sure the world never heard of us. Cause the Lord said he gonna serve us. That's the reason why he's so nervous. All this over on the slave ship. Beat us all with the same whip. The year of 2020 AD. Y'all niggas still can't see shit. More coming, better be quick. Stack up all of your funds. Stack up all of your food, all of your water, all of your guns, nigga. H.O.I, may my enemies all die. Send a prayer through the Wi-Fi, let it radiate through the sky. Only thing that I'm telling y'all, I ain't telling y'all no lies. Many things that I'm praying for is that I see with my own eyes. Keep the commandments and keep the faith. 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 Keep the commandments and keep the faith.